Hi everybody, well I am so excited. So I'm recording this video at 2100 hours on the 16th of May 2022. So you're probably going to be watching this video probably about 12 hours later if you're watching it when it first comes out, which means that we're only a few hours away from the official announcement of Arma Reforger. And if you're watching this after the fact, then you can kind of maybe review about what the things I say and see whether any of this is true or not. But you may well be asking yourself, Rob, why are you so excited about Arma Reforger? Why is it important? Because I know lots of people who watch this channel, watch the videos, are really into DayZ. And you may well be thinking, well, what's the link between DayZ and Arma Reforger? And why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to us? Why am I so excited about it? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the link between DayZ and Arma and why it's really good that these games are linked, and how with Arma Reforger they're going to become even closer intertwined. Now, the gameplay footage you're seeing in the background is Arma 3. It's one of my favourite missions, actually. This is one of the scenarios. This is the sniper scenario, and it's great just to go through it. I guess it's because I like Sniper Elite as well. So Arma and DayZ are both developed by Bohemia Interactive. That's the publisher and developer behind these games. And Arma is really, that's the reason why Bohemia Interactive exists. They started off with working with Codemasters on Operation Dragon Rising, and then they had they split with Codemasters, and they then created Arma Cold War Assault, and then you had Arma 2 and Arma 3. And so the CEO and the leaders of Bohemia Interactive, Arma is why they make video games, because they want to make open world military sandbox, military simulators. And if you look up some gameplay for Arma, just look up Arma gameplay on YouTube, you'll see that, the fantastic fun people have in this kind of semi-realistic sort of situation. DayZ, on the other hand, is a open world apocalyptic zombie infected survival simulator, isn't it? But the thing they have in common is these big open world maps. So where did it all come from? Well, when Arma 2 came out, the ability to mod for it was and the opportunities that it could be had were amazing. And so Dean Hall and his buddies, independent of Bohemia Interactive, created the DayZ mod back in sort of 2010s, I think it was, something like that. The Arma 2 came out, I think, in 2009. And what happened was that the DayZ mod for Arma 2, so this free thing that you would download and open up in Arma 2, became incredibly popular. And within the first 4 months that the mod came out, 1 million people were playing it. And this sold Arma 2 in its bucket load. So basically people were buying Arma 2 in order to play the DayZ mod. They weren't particularly interested in the military simulator side of Arma 2. They just wanted to play the DayZ mod. And obviously Bohemia Interactive made an awful lot of money out of this. And we're like, oh right, yeah, this is pretty cool, this. And they bought Dean Hall and his team and the DayZ mod and shipped them over to the Czech Republic, and then started development on DayZ Standalone, or DayZ SA. You've seen it's called quite a lot. You see it referred to. So DayZ SA, or DayZ Standalone. That's what we know as DayZ today, although we just call it DayZ. And so I think it was about 2013 the DayZ full game came out, but it was in beta for an awful long time, and initially it was on the same engine as Arma, but with update 0.63, I think it was, you then had a change, and round about with update 6.3, DayZ wasn't doing very well. It was down to not that very many players. And so they tried out the Infusion engine, this new engine they had, that meant that DayZ was now on a different engine to Arma. And that proved to be problematic, because it took them a long time to get the game running and working well. But because they'd also stuck to their core principle that modding is the way that you expand a game, DayZ then started to get traction and become incredibly popular. So what I mean by modding is that you can download from the Steam Workshop for Arma 3 and for DayZ mods that can change the game quite a lot. So more guns, more maps, more monsters, helicopters, all this sort of stuff. You can download lots and lots of stuff for that. And so in DayZ, this led to things like, you know, different types of weapons, different types of zombies, bigger maps being done. On the other side, on Arma, you had whole different versions of the game being created. All these different, you know, factions of soldiers, like the British Army or different armies from all over the world being created for the game. And that really drove both games incredibly through incredible growth periods. You know, to get to the point now, say with DayZ, so almost 10 years after its release, you know, DayZ is having on Steam, on PC, the most amount of players playing it at the same time. You know, well over 50,000. And Arma, you know, a game just as old, has still got, you know, tens of thousands, up to, you know, yeah, I think it got up to like 50,000 again, concurrent people playing it at the same time. Now, DayZ also has been released on console, so we've got at least as many people again playing on Xbox and PlayStation. Unfortunately, you can't get the same mods on console as you can on PC for DayZ, but we can do other things. We can do, you know, we can do XML modding and JSON modding. But you can kind of see the problem that Bohemia Interactive had. They've got Arma 3 on its engine, and then you've got DayZ on its separate engine, and that meant they had to have different development teams. Also meant that code wasn't as easily interchangeable between the two games. So now we come to Arma Reforger, that's going to be announced in a few hours' time, depending on when you watch this video. And Arma Reforger, the next Arma title, which is an interim release between now and Arma 4, it's like a taster of Arma 4, is going to be on the Infusion engine, rather than the Real Virtuality Arma, which is at the Arma 3 engine, which means that Arma and DayZ will be running on a similar engine. Now, the Infusion engine that DayZ runs on won't be the same one that Arma's working on. The Arma one will be much more up-to-date, much more streamlined. But you can see all of a sudden you'll have DayZ on a version of Infusion, and then you'll have Arma on a version of Infusion as well, which means all of a sudden the code will be much more, there'll be much more interoperability between the code. And that is really, really good for both games, because it means that code that's developed for Arma, in terms of, say, making the vehicles work better, lots of different types of vehicles, helicopters, boats, all this sort of stuff, will be able to port it over to DayZ much more easier than you could before. Things like AI for Arma. So Arma, the big thing about Arma being a military sandbox simulator isn't really the PvP side of it. A lot of the time you're fighting with friends or by yourself against enemy AI soldiers. Well, that AI will be able to be ported over to DayZ, so we will get proper AI in DayZ. But then also you'll get things going the other way. So you'll be able to have proper zombies going over to Arma. So you'll be able to have, you know, a military open world simulator with zombies that really work very well, because there's lots of modded zombies you can get for Arma 3, but you know, they're not as good, I don't think, as the zombies you would get in DayZ. Also, it means when it comes to modding, so if a mod is created for Arma Reforger, it means that will probably still work in, or maybe with a minimum amount of work, to port it over to work in DayZ. So that's really cool, isn't it? So if someone develops a helicopter for Arma Reforger, there's a chance that it won't take too much to take it over to DayZ. And the thing that is incredibly exciting about this is the fact that they've been hinting in the leaked document that came out that there will be modding on console. So I think there may well be some in-game modding. So the mod shop will be in-game. So when you launch the launcher for Arma Reforger, you'll be able to download mods from within that. You won't have to go to Steam, which means that you can then have it on console. So then you can kind of see the opportunities of having official mods. So because Arma 3, Bohemia Interactive have been very good at bringing in groups of modders to have official paid, they call it community DLC, massive DLC. Like there's the Vietnam one, Prairie Fire, there's Cold War ones, there's a Sahara one as well. And maybe that will then open the door for that to happen in DayZ as well. So very, very exciting indeed. You know, you could imagine the guys behind Prairie Fire, for example, porting that mod over to Arma Reforger. But because that is then be in the infusion, maybe then we can have a Vietnam map come to DayZ. And not only that, we can have a Vietnam map that comes to DayZ on console because it will be on the in-game workshop. So there we go. That is why the link between DayZ and Arma is so important through Bohemia Interactive, and why I'm so excited the fact that the next Arma title, Arma Reforger, will be on a similar engine to DayZ. And I think if I was working at Bohemia Interactive, they're going to be porting Arma to this new Infusion engine, and I think they're slowly going to be taking DayZ over to it as well. So they'll both run on exactly the same engine, and then that's going to be something else indeed. So I don't know. What do you think? Maybe by the time you've watched this, you'll have seen the Reforger announcement. You'll know exactly what's going on, and lots of these questions will already be answered. But until then, I cannot wait. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.